Hello and welcome back to Small Screen Stories. This is the show where I go over all the news in the world of entertainment and pop culture. It comes to you every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. My name is Edward Lauder. I'm the editor of Small Screen, and all the news stories, so I always say articles, but all the news stories you'll hear today on Small Screen Stories come from the website Small Screen, where you can find that at small-screen.co.uk. If you could go and give that a little peruse, that would be really wonderful. It would help us out. If you could also like and subscribe, that'd be really cool as well. And what else? And if you could follow us on social media, that'd be pretty damn awesome. You can find that at Small Screen Co. You can also follow me if you want on Twitter at Small Screen. Not Small Screen. I do tweet at Small Screen, but at EJ Lauder, you can follow me there. Right, now that I've got all that stuff out the way, let's get right into the news. And there's quite a bit to get into today. So Thursday has been, forgetting what day it is. Thursday's been a pretty intense day, and I wanted to start off with the news that Tim Burton's The Addams Family series is first called Wednesday, and it's officially coming to Netflix. So that was announced by Netflix. This is actually something that we did reveal that a couple of months ago, actually, that Netflix had got the rights to it. So it's actually, the show's actually done by MGM. So, and they're basically giving the rights for distribution to Netflix. So this is how a lot of Netflix shows are made. They're made by other companies, and then they kind of give off the rights, like the worldwide distribution rights to Netflix. So this is what Netflix said. They said Tim Burton is bringing Wednesday Addams to Netflix in a live-action coming-of-age series. Burton will also make his TV directorial debut on the sleuthing, supernatural-infused mystery that follows Wednesday as a student at Nevermore Academy. So it's going to be very Wednesday focused, which is great. They also waited for Wednesday to reveal this. So that was yesterday. It's written by Smallville creators Al Gough and Miles Millar, and it's going to be directed by Tim Burton. So it's a supernatural kind of mystery, which to me sounds brilliant. Set in a school. Yes, sign me up. I think that's going to be great. So here's the actual. It's described as a sleuthing, supernatural-infused mystery charting Wednesday Addams' years as a student at Nevermore Academy. That's where she attempts to master her emerging psychic abilities, thwart a monstrous killing spree that terrorizes the local town, and solve a supernatural mystery that embroiled her parents 25 years ago, all while navigating her new, very tangled relationships. So, of course, her father and mother are Morticia and Gomez Addams. We did reveal that Tim Burton was very keen on getting Johnny Depp to be in that. So that's something that I think would be really, really cool. I would love to see Johnny Depp get to play that role. Morticia Addams, I'm not so sure who's going to be up for the role. Evergreen is someone that is often there, like there or thereabouts when people are talking about Morticia Addams and also Tim Burton projects. I think either of them would do really well. I think they'd be a really, really good fit for the show. Let me know what you think about that. Are you excited to see this? Is this something that you're really looking forward to? I think it's going to be really good. I think this will probably be Tim Burton's kind of comeback, really. He hasn't done anything in a while, and a lot of the stuff he's done recently hasn't been that good. So I'm actually thinking this is going to be really quite special. But let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to the petition to get Lucasfilm to rehire Gina Carano as Cara Dune. So this has been a pretty big deal actually recently. I'm pretty sure you've all seen that Gina Carano was fired for posting some really just silly things online, but mainly one post in particular that she actually reshared. She did take it down, but it's too little, too late, and Lucasfilm called the post abhorrent, and it seems as though they just couldn't work with her anymore after that. And this has kind of been coming for a long time now, I suppose. A lot of people were saying that people like Pedro Pascal was actually trying to convince Gina Carano to change her ways, and she didn't. Obviously, she kept on posting on social media. People desperately trying to stop her from posting things on social media because it was getting people so riled up. Again, that is a form of what's the word? Well, silencing that I don't really like. I think I don't think that's on to tell people to do that. But when you start getting into these areas that she got into, it can get very murky and it can get very difficult, and people get upset. And I mean, it's kind of understandable why they got so upset. But one of the things I was kind of looking at was, well, what's going to be happening afterwards? What's Lucasfilm going to do afterwards? So there have been reports that Lucasfilm will not recast the role and just kind of leave it as it is. There have also been reports that Lucasfilm will recast the role, and they've been putting names like Lucy Lawless out there and Lana Parrilla as well, and all sorts of different names have been mentioned. But now we've got this petition on change.org. There are lots of petitions on change.org. They exist, and they'll always exist, and a lot of them get very, very popular. This one, though, for Gina Carano, has proven to be extremely popular. It's actually now got over 50,000 signatures, which is a lot considering it is quite recent. And it's like, I mean, I don't think Disney will pay attention to something like this. It's not really something that they pay attention to, these sorts of things. So at the moment it's at 56,000 signatures. I'm just checking it now. I understand why people are signing it. Honestly, I'm going to be honest, I haven't signed it because I don't tend to sign petitions because I don't really think they make any difference. But it kind of shows, at least to me, it shows the appetite out there that 56,000 people are willing to sign this petition because they are so desperate to get Gina Carano to come back to play this role. Cara Dune was reportedly going to be a big part of Rangers of the New Republic, which is the upcoming Star Wars show. So, it's going to be difficult for Disney to move forward from this because Gina Carano was Cara Dune. I don't think she's a particularly amazing actress, but I think she was actually very good as Cara Dune. She really fit that role. And she'll be hard to replace. She will be hard to replace in that role. And that's something that Disney's going to work out because, of course, there are also reports that she was going to play a big part in The Mandalorian Season 3 as well, which makes sense. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. People are very upset about this. Again, I understand why they are, but it seems as though Gina Carano's okay. She's going to be starring in a Ben Shapiro movie. It's his company, like the Daily Wire, they're called, that are producing it, and I think it's all about cancel culture. I wouldn't really align myself with someone like Ben Shapiro, but she's got a gig, so that's good. But she has been dropped by a talent agency, which isn't good news. So she's got to find a new talent agency. But I'm pretty sure she'll bounce back and she'll be fine. Cara Dune, on the other hand, I'm not so sure about. I think that character might be done, which is a shame because I think she was really, really good. And I mean, that's how I feel about it. Just it's annoying, but I understand why Lucasfilm felt they needed to do what they did. I understand why people are annoyed about this. I feel it sounds like I'm sitting on the fence on this one, but again, as I've said in previous episodes, you have to. There is, if you're starring in a Disney show and a Star Wars show for that matter, you do have to be a role model. And she was. I mean, her character really was. But most of the stuff that Gina Carano was posting on social media seemed to be quite, positive. But that sort of thing, I think, is really not on it. It doesn't set a good example. And you have to be held responsible for your actions. And unfortunately, that meant that she was fired. Is it fair? No. Should people be fired for what they say on social media? I mean, it depends, and to be honest, I don't think so. But that's the world we live in at the moment. Right. Well, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Moving on to the news. Well, so not reportedly. Actually, Gina Carano said this herself. So she said this in an interview, and that she was actually banned from doing any press for The Mandalorian Season 2, which makes me wonder, well, does this mean that actually Disney knew that this was going to be a problem before that post? Well, it seems they did. So obviously they've spoken to her about it. If they were banning her from doing press for the series, that means that there was a problem. She said this was heartbreaking, but I didn't want to take away from the hard work of everyone who worked on the project. So I said, okay. That was the last time I was contacted about any type of public statement or apology from Lucasfilm. I found out through social media, like everyone else, that I'd been fired. And that's not fair, really, is it? It's not fair to find out on Twitter basically that you've been fired. But she was basically told not to do any press for the second season. So that might explain why I mean, why we didn't really see that. What that would explain why we didn't really see her do anything, any sort of press for the second season. We did see, I think, Pedro Pascal do some interviews, and I believe he must have been the only one actually. But yeah, it looks like they kind of got her out of it. The thing is, though, I mean, with a pandemic going on and stuff like that. So I know. Well, Jon Favreau definitely did press for season 2. He was one of the main people behind that. I think, yeah, Pedro Pascal was as well. Off the top of my head, I can't remember anyone else that did any press for the season. Well, the second season of The Mandalorian. Again, the other problem is that we're in the middle of a global pandemic, so there wasn't really much press. The show still did very well, so it looks like that might not really matter anymore. But it's not cool. Banning her from press. I think that was a bit weird. But also it indicates to me that Disney knew there was a problem and that they were already trying to kind of push her away a bit from the show and have other people be front and center, which is again a shame because I think Gina Carano is she's, I mean, apart from what she posted on social media, I think she'd be very good in a press situation. But let me know what you think about all that in the comments below. Right, Marvel. There's going to be a Luke Cage and Iron Fist team up in a future Disney Plus series. So this comes from Geekosity. Mikey Sutton over there is saying that this is going to happen, and this to me makes perfect sense. We already reported that Mike Colter is coming back. Kevin Feige wants him to come back to play Luke Cage. Finn Jones, it looks like he's going to be recast. That Iron Fist is going to be recast, which is a shame because I think Finn Jones is good, but obviously not as good as the others. So whoever will play him will get to star alongside possibly Mike Colter as Luke Cage in a Disney Plus series. I think that's a good series. It sounds like they're going to be introducing Iron Fist in a future Shang-Chi movie. And not the next one, not the one that's coming out, possibly Shang-Chi 2. And they'll be recasting it and rebooting the role. But they're rebooting all of these roles by the looks of it. They're rebooting Daredevil, they're rebooting The Punisher, they'll be rebooting Luke Cage as well, and they're rebooting Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. So basically, by rebooting, what they're going to be doing is going to be the same people, apart from Finn Jones, apparently, playing these characters. But they'll just not mention the Netflix Marvel TV shows, which I'm not a big... I mean, I liked those shows, but I thought they got a bit bad by the end, and I don't care. As long as the actors get to play them in the MCU, I don't really mind if they reference them or not. Right. Freddie. Yes, awful how someone can lose their job over words on an internet social media platform. Yes, it is Orwellian. It is very Orwellian. I think you're right. The problem I have with it, and I think a lot of people have with it as well, is it's a bit different when you're a public figure like Gina Carano was or is. Everything she was saying was very, very, it was getting more traction than something someone else would say that's not quite as famous on social media. And I think also it was the nature of the post. I think that was the main thing. I don't think it's... I think it's just the fact that it was just so outrageous and just not on. I'm not going to discuss what the post was because I just don't want to get into that. But I think that was the main thing. And I think that was the problem. It's a shame. I've said that before. It is a shame that she's been fired. But again, I can understand why they did it. And I can understand why people are annoyed about it. Right, moving on to HBO Max is apparently looking to cast an actor of color to play Constantine in the series. So it was revealed the other day that John Constantine is going to get his own series on HBO Max. This, of course, is different to the Constantine we're going to be seeing in The Sandman, which is a Netflix series that's based on the Neil Gaiman comics, and it's going to be different from Matt Ryan, the CW version, and it's also not going to be Keanu Reeves, who played Constantine in the movie Constantine. So there have been rumors that Riz Ahmed was in the running. Those apparently are untrue; they're false. But I mean, there are lots of actors that people have been suggesting online. So, like Asian actors could play the role. The only thing I don't mind about any of that, I think that's fine. The only thing I've heard people saying that Daniel D. Kim or Tim Kang would be great in the role. I myself have said that Henry Golding could be good in the role. And the only thing that I care about as far as Constantine is concerned is that the actor be British, because I mean I know I am English, so I'm British, so it's one of those things people might. But I think it's actually quite important that because that's such a big part of the character. That he's from Liverpool, and it is a big thing. He's so British and so kind of Liverpudlian in many ways, and that is a big part of it. And there's actually never been an actor, because Matt Ryan I think is Welsh, so but he does a good job. But there's never been an actor apart from Taron Egerton, who is from Merseyside in the UK. There's never been an actor to play John Constantine that's actually from from the place where he's meant to be from. We've got Matt Ryan, who's British, and that's the closest we've ever got to. Keanu Reeves is American. Taron Egerton voiced the character in an audiobook, in the audiobook version of The Sandman, and he was actually really good. And there are reports that he's going to be cast, or he has been cast, as Constantine in the Sandman series, which I think is perfect casting personally. But if they're looking to change the role up a bit, that's fine. Just as long as they keep it British, that's all I care about. But it also sounds like this is going to be a very dark, a kind of a rendition, interpretation of the character, which I also am all for, because I think that's something that's actually quite important. And this is, of course, coming from Bad Robot. And Bad Robot, that's J.J. Abrams' company. And they're also doing a Justice League Dark series. They're apparently doing a Superman movie, but that's kind of gone cold. I haven't heard much about that, but I think it's good. I think all of this news is good. I'm very much looking forward to seeing John Constantine back in a big way, and it looks like he is coming back in a big way. He's getting his own series, and he's going to be in the Sandman. So that's good. That's all good news. Possibly be in he would be in Justice League Dark as well. Right, moving on to HBO Max has revealed the first look at the Aquaman animated series. So this is called Aquaman King of Atlantis, and I'll bring up the... that's the first look, that's the first image we've had of the upcoming kind of HBO Max animated TV show. I love this look. For me, it reminds me a lot of Adventure Time, which is a series that I really, really do adore. And it's the same kind of art style. And it looks kind of, that's of course Aquaman there and Mera there with him. And it's being executive produced by James Wan, who is of course the director of the Aquaman movie. And he's directing Aquaman 2 as we speak. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you like the look of that? I think it looks pretty good, actually, personally. I think it's a pretty good-looking TV show. It sounds like it'd be a bit mad, which I'm all for, because I like this sort of stuff. I like things being a bit bonkers, and maybe it'd be in the same kind of vein as the Harley Quinn show, which apparently is very, very good. I've heard lots of good things about that, and you can watch that over on HBO Max. Right, moving on to some TV news. So the big thing I wanted to talk about today, apart from the Mortal Kombat trailer, which I'm going to be talking about a bit later on, but there have been rumors. So this is something that I just think is just really weird, that for some reason people online really have it in for the Batman movie, and they're coming up with all these rumors about there being problems on set, problems between Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, that they're not getting along, that they just want to get the movie done, that they're really fed up with the whole thing. Look, I have asked a lot of people about all this stuff, and everyone that I've asked, because I actually do know a couple of people that are working on this film, and everyone that I've asked has said that this is utter nonsense, that there aren't any problems on set, that it's all just hearsay, and none of it's from very reliable sources. So I think like the Daily Mail posted some stuff and saying that crew members are saying that it's a nightmare, that Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves are just getting on each other's nerves. And now we're getting this rumor from, of all places, 4chan, which, if you don't know what 4chan is, it's not a good site. It's an image board website, and it's awful. It's a terrible, terrible place, and I refuse to go to it, which is why I didn't know about this until relatively recently. But this is now doing the rounds, and it's that this person is saying that they're working on the set of the Batman, and in about a week or so, all media will go after him for what he and Zoe did on set of the Batman last week. So he's basically saying that that Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz were caught having sex on the Batmobile prop, and then Matt Reeves is apparently utterly furious with him and interrupted them. Honestly, so there's an article on the site, and I called it an exclusive because what I did was when I read this, I was like, what is this nonsense? And like he literally, apparently Matt Reeves told Pattinson, this is according to this guy that posts this on 4chan. Now, if you're going to leak anything, don't leak it on 4chan. It's like the worst place to leak anything because it's literally a place full of terrible, terrible people, and it's not a good place to be. And if this is a real leak, which when I was reading it, I was like, I'm gonna have to look into this because this sounds utterly bonkers, and actually, to me, it sounds completely made up. 4chan's not the place to be leaking it. It really isn't. You talk to a journalist, or you contact people. You don't post it on 4chan. No. But anyway, and also the way that this person talks about crew members, they say workers, which is just wrong. That's not how you call them. Me and a lot of workers with Matt Reeves, it just doesn't make any sense. Someone that's in the business would know not to talk like this and not to refer to things like that in that sense. It doesn't stick. They said apparently Matt Reeves told Pattinson, "You are the most entitled, narcissistic actor I've ever worked with. You go back to work. We finished filming in March, and then we are done. I don't want to ever work with you after this film." So, all right, fine. Direct quote, apparently. Why are people so against this movie? I don't understand it. A lot of this is propagated by YouTubers. People. Well, I'm not going to name names, but there are certain YouTube channels out there that really love to post stuff saying that there's issues on the Batman set. And it stems, for me, I think it does stem from some bizarre hatred of Robert Pattinson. They just are desperate to make him look bad. And I suppose it stems from the fact that he played Edward in Twilight. And you know what? I actually thought he was as good as he possibly could have been in those films. But to me, it really doesn't make sense. It does not make sense because all of this is nonsense. So I asked some people that, again, and I've actually, for instance, I've spoken to Zoe Kravitz in the past. I interviewed her for the Divergent movies a couple of years back, and she was really, really lovely. And and they're both professionals. They wouldn't do this. It's something that, especially on a set of something so public, really, in a weird way, like the Batman is a massive blockbuster. It's Warner Brothers. It's a Warner Brothers movie. It's a big deal. You wouldn't do this. And there have been literally no before this. Only people that were talking about both actors could only say nice things about them. Literally saying they're the nicest people to work with. They're really good to work with on set, especially Robert Pattinson. A lot of people calling him a gentleman and things like that. And like Christopher Nolan saying that he'd love to work with him again, and all this stuff. So why is there all of a sudden all this stuff saying he's terrible on set, he's awful to work with, he's narcissistic, blah blah blah, and then apparently Matt Reeves is impossible to work with, according to some people, saying that he has to do take after take after take, basically claiming that he's like David Fincher. There have been no reports of that on any of his other films. Everyone else has said he's really good to work with. So it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit. But for some reason, people are desperate to say this is happening, that this is a thing. Anyway, as I said, that's a bit of a rant. But I asked some people about this that I know are connected to the movie. Some are actually working on it as we speak. And this is what they said. "This didn't happen. It's utter rubbish spread by some guy on the internet." That was the first person to say this. And then another person added that, and again, I do know these people quite well. And they are connected to it. One is very much involved. But it said, no, this other person says, "No, do not believe these rumors. All the stuff out there all the stuff out there being issues on the set are not true." So I did copy and paste this, and so I think there's a mistake in it. Rob and Zoe were not caught having yes. Sorry, there are some spelling mistakes in this. I had to check that. Having sex on a bloody Batmobile. Also, no issues between Rob and Matt. They have their differences on certain things, but it's all creative stuff about the character, and they are getting along. And then this person who is, I'm not going to go, I did say I've known this person since my school days, said, what I can say is that there's no truth to these rumors. Seems like a lot of YouTubers and people on the internet having something against the film. Don't know why, but they love making and spreading these rumors on the internet. This Rob and Zoe one is one of the most inventive yet. So yeah, it's one of those things that is like, for some reason, people love spreading these sorts of things about this movie and about Robert Pattinson. And now Zoe Kravitz has unfortunately been put in the mix as well. And it's really something that it gets me annoyed because there's no need for it. It's like just creating problems where there are none. And I'm just fixing the typos. Do not believe the rumors that Rob and Zoe were not caught having sex on the movement. Also, no issue. They have their differences. Okay. Right. That's all changed. Right. So, again, it's one of those things. I wanted to get that out there for you guys because it's something it's not happening. It's just not happening. There aren't these issues on the set. They're getting it done. They're getting it filmed. There are problems with people getting coronavirus. Now that is genuine. There are problems with people catching coronavirus on set and they're having to shut it down. It actually just happened. I think Robert Pattinson's his stunt double was tested positive for coronavirus. So that is an issue. And that might be causing issues on set and making things a bit, tense. But it's not that there's a massive problem between Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves. That's not the issue. And if anything, Robert Pattinson signed a multi-film contract. So, it's a lot of money that's involved for him as well. And it's a lot of money that's involved for the studio. So they're going to want to make sure that everything is going on as smoothly as possible. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't ever problems on set on movies. There always are. I mean, actors are notoriously can be notoriously difficult to work with. It's just that this isn't the case with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. They're not those sorts of actors, and they're just people that are very into their craft. And Robert Pattinson especially is very into his he only wants to work with certain directors and he wants to do the best job he possibly can. Zoe Kravitz is very professional as well. So it's just upsetting that people would spread this sort of stuff. But, that's the world we live in nowadays. But let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to what I was really looking forward to doing. And that's a live reaction to Mortal Kombat's very first trailer. And I'll give you... what I'll say is that I have watched it before, and I'll get it up here for you guys, and it is brilliant. It is really, really brilliant, and I just want to check that it's working. Right, so I've got the sound off because I just wanted to go. So here we go. There. Wait, this is the very first time I've ever done anything like this, so bear with me. That I keep on missing him. So this is Sub-Zero, if I can ever get him up. And Sub-Zero is... Oh, I don't want John Campea. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo that. I had it all teed up, and then it got to John Campea. I'm just going to stop on certain frames in this trailer. It goes so fast, it's really difficult to get us... Right, here we go. There we go. I've got it up now. So there we go. That is Sub-Zero, and he is kind of going to be the main villain in this movie, which I'm really looking forward to. Now, I am a massive, massive fan of these of the Mortal Kombat video games. I think they're really quite fun. And one of the things that here we go. We noticed. I'm not going to play it because it is quite violent. But one of the things I noticed about this movie is they're really going for the kind of finishing stuff that's in the game, so that you have the finishing move. And it looks like they're going to be bringing that into, and it's of course a Warner Brothers movie, New Line Cinema. They're going to be bringing that into the movie. So this is actually, he is a new character. This is a character that hasn't actually been in the in the movie, in the videos before. It's called Cole, and he's kind of looks like he's going to be the main protagonist, and he's going to be one of the champions. And there we go. We got some really good shots, especially at the end. Here we go. And where's the one I wanted to show you guys next? Here we go. The bit of the trailer that I was really, really looking for. This is so much gore in it. Here we go. The clash between these two. So you got Sub-Zero, and I'm blanking on his name at the moment, if you can let me know. But this Mortal Kombat trailer is again, as I said before, it's very violent. It's quite gory, but it's one of those things that it's exactly what it's supposed to be. And I'm really, really looking forward to this thing. I just wanted to bring up my article because I'm blanking on all their names at the moment. But it's... here we go. Oh, it's going to be R-rated as well. So it's played by Lewis Tan, is the guy that's playing Cole Young. And he's an MMA fighter in the movie. And he's being hunted down by Outworld's Emperor Shang Tsung, who's and his best warrior Sub-Zero. So here's the plot synopsis. Fearing for his family's safety, Cole goes in search of Sonya Blade at the direction of Jax, a special forces major who bears the same strange dragon marking Cole was born with. Soon he finds himself at the temple of Lord Raiden, an elder god and the protector of Earthrealm, who grants sanctuary to those who bear the mark. Here Cole trains with experienced warriors Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and rogue mercenary Kano, as he prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. But Cole will be pushed hard enough to unlock his Arcana. Arcana, I think. Arcana. I don't know how to say that. The immense power from within his soul, in time to save not only his family but stop Outworld once and for all. So it sounds pretty good. It's directed by a guy called Simon McQuoid. It's produced by James Wan and Todd Garner, and the film was written by Greg Russo and Dave Callahan and Oren Uziel. I hope I'm saying those names properly. But it's got Scorpion. The big battle at the end is between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and they're like two of the main characters from the Mortal Kombat video games. But you've also got Melina and Raiden in there as well. So it's something that I'm really, really looking forward to, and it's coming out on April 16th. Over here, I think it's coming to Sky in the UK and Canal Plus in France, but in America it's coming to HBO Max. I don't think cinemas are going to be open by then, so I think we're still going to have to watch it on streaming, which is a shame. But it's just one of those things, unfortunately. Let me know what you think about the Mortal Kombat trailer. Is this something you're looking forward to? I am really looking forward to this thing. So let me know in the comments below. Right, moving on to Ezra Miller, and the Flash movie has officially started production. Barbara Muschietti, who's the producer, revealed this on Instagram in a post and a picture. And that's been a development hell for a while now, so we're getting that, and it's being directed by Andy Muschietti, and of course we're going to get to see Michael Keaton's Batman and Ben Affleck's Batman in the movie, which is very, very exciting. Brie Larson's Captain Marvel apparently will be in Thor: Love and Thunder. So I got this from Geekosity, but it comes from a site which is called Crazy Days and Nights, but I got it from Geekosity. And apparently she's been filming in secret, so that's pretty fun. And then finally, John Cena is signed on apparently to star in a new fantasy comedy movie, which they're looking to turn into a franchise called Movie Night, and that'll be directed by Jason Bateman, and it's got no relation to the movie Game Night, which he was also in. Jason Bateman. John Cena, John Cena wasn't in that. But and with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. It was a bit rushed at the end, but I can only fit these into a short window. But thank you very, very much for watching. Again, if you would like to follow Small Screen, you can follow us at Small Screen Co. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you'd like to follow me, you can do that as well. You can follow me at EJ Lauder on Twitter, and go to the site. That's at small-screen.co.uk, where you can find all the articles that I've been talking about this evening. thing. What else can you do? We also release this as a podcast, and that you can find that at Small Screen Stories. If you could give us a 5-star rating, that would be really, really cool as well. I'd love that. And you can, what else can you do? You can like and subscribe over here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch as well. And with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and goodbye.